Povero Carmen, aiutici tu.
And welcome, fellas and bellas, to another episode of the Napoli Rant. I am Ralph Biz, joined by my co-host, the Vicar of Vesuvius, Rafa Rispo. Still undisputed.
Universal Napoli champion of fans. Napoli fans champion.
The king of fans.
The champ.
Yeah,
the king.
Yeah.
It's my new moniker. I'm the Vicar,
right.
But I'm the champion. I could be the.
What was that other one? You got to. I there was like another one that Matteo Benetti gave you. I think. It was like there was two of them, right?
He calls me Bomber, but I don't know.
Bomber.
No, the Vicar. I think that was it. I mean, I can try to get him. He's due to come in. He comes in. Maybe he'll re-nickname me. But I'm gonna keep this on for 2 minutes.
All right, 2 minutes. There you go.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's get this rant to the road, man. Thank you again for joining us. A lot of eager people in there. Let's start. Forza Napoli sempre. Luca in the house. Scotta di Luz. I believe this is Michele as well as Luca, or maybe it is Luca actually.
Maybe it's maybe it's his alter ego. Maybe
it's alter alias, right? Why yo? He says to us, Salvatore De Brita in the house.
In the house. What's going on? I see Luca saying that my volume is about half as loud as yours. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Let's see.
Oh, sorry guys. Maybe that's a little bit better. Funny. You know what's funny? Remember yesterday when we did the test and the other thing, my volume was still up. I didn't lower it down. So I must have really came into this intro screaming. Should be a little bit better. I
don't know. He's saying mine is half as loud as yours. So maybe
that's because mine is really double yours. Yeah. I think that's what's going on.
How's that, Luca? We sounding better? We need to get it. Make sure it's right before we get
Appreciate it. I love all the assistant producers we have here helping us out throughout all this.
We need all the help we can get, Ralph.
Biz volume is good. All right, everybody's good.
His volume is good. So is mine okay?
No. I think I don't know, man.
Rafa was quiet.
I think
we roll.
I'll re-roll. Let me get back. Kepa time, baby. Vincenzo Bertilla. We're going to talk about this, certainly. Don from the Bronx. What up, fam? All right. Good to see everybody. Pasquale Napolitano, as always, first in line. Let's go.
Since we've been here, Dom.
Michael, what's up, Mike? What's going on, Bello?
Mike Lisi's in the house. What's up?
What's going on, huh?
Campione. Come
Napoli or Milan next season, huh, Mike? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Don BX. Sorry about the Yankees last week, but you've been on the roll since. Mets took care of you. That's all I'm going to say about that. We can continue.
Quentin back in the house, brother. What's the deal? It's turning into a bit. I thought you said I was all right, Spider. I certainly miss Quentin your comedy, but I can't wait to get Mondays off again, bro. Because you got to come back. Long time, yes, Mike, a long time. But good to see you back here. Cal, about Forza Napoli sempre. In addition to saying hello to Cal, I want to give a big shout out to Cal's cousin watching with him right now, Danilo from Napoli. Wait, why you?
Danilo, are you watching right now?
Yeah, I think he's there. He's watching now. He's in America, from what I understand. Right, Cal?
Got you.
And he's hanging out with Cal, and he's watching us. Siamo qui, Danilo. Siamo qui. Tutto, huh? Let him know.
I love it, man.
Let him know.
I love it. Also, really quick, Ralph. We touched it last week on our good buddy Steph Cioffi, who was in the hospital for heart operation. He says ciao, grazie. So the operation went well, but since then he's encountered a few more issues. Back into surgery. Haven't been able to check on him, but this was all sort of this weekend.
He hit me up, Rafa. He hit me up.
He did. Okay.
Yeah, a couple complications. I mean, these things happen, but they kept him in the hospital, so they were able to take care of it really quick. And he actually sent us a message on the DM, Rafa, and he thanks everybody by the way, he saw all the shout outs. He is 100% grateful to everybody here. Let me put this up.
Right.
Forza Steph
Yeah,
sempre.
keep him in the prayers still.
Yeah, man.
We're still kind of getting updates about him fighting some stuff. So
Right.
I'm loving that he, I like the good news I hear, but I wanted to keep everybody who's watching or who watched last week and has a question about it in the know. So let's all just keep him in our thoughts and hopefully he gets through here. Yeah, Steph is the real MVP. That is true, Dom. That's true. He's a real campione.
But yeah, much love to Steph and all of his family. Hang in there. We're with you. Now, back to the rant, guys. So there's been a couple little things in the news. This is something that might be ongoing now in the rant. We want to just kind of touch on a few topics, things like that, before we get into the rant, before we get into just, screaming and yelling about a few things. So let's get into that real quick. I wanted to start with something that I thought was hilarious. This is really like an old man's topic, right? I called it "Cell Phones Ruin the Locker Room." Now you must be thinking, why does that say ruin? So Mario Rui came out, Rafa, on like when he was being interviewed, and he said that there's just too much. He understands why people are on their cell phones in the locker room, but it's too much, and it's ruining the atmosphere of the locker room. And I'm kind of feeling this, right? You would think that this is a place where, like, they're going to sit there, they're going to talk maybe about the game, maybe about whatever, bust each other's balls, whatever, a little locker room talk. But instead, everybody's kind of like,
yeah. And I understand that. I mean, I know, listen, I'm on my phone right now. I'm trying to share our stuff. But, I understand the aggravation from Marie. He's an old head. I guess he's an old head at heart.
right.
That's what I gather from his annoyance of being on the phones. Just everybody's on the phone lately. Too much phones. I agree. You should curb that stuff until like after a match, or maybe like, after everything is over. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're in the training ground, when you're getting ready for a season, minimize the phone usage. I think that's a great idea. But I can understand Rui's frustration when it comes to that. But everything is on the phone today, man. It just is. It's just shit,
Maybe they should text, "Hey, pass me the ball" or something. I don't know. Like,
yeah. Yeah, banning the cell phones in the locker room would be a good idea. But how realistic is that, really? How realistic is that? I don't know if it's too realistic in this day and age with the communications and all that stuff. But I think it could be a considerable gripe. It's funny, actually. Yeah. Imagine being on the phone while cutting hair with Ralph. Yeah, I mean, I've had to do it for emergency purposes, but like it's not good. Being on the phone cutting. You should be talking to your clients and getting it on,
He doesn't want to talk. So Kyle says, my cousin said Mario Rui can say what he wants from half going forward, half going back. He doesn't want to talk to him.
All right.
I guess sure.
I'm not quite sure what that means. But
Cal, did you put that in like Google Translator and that's what you got? Like, just write it in Italian. We understand it, okay? But anyway, no cell phone. How do you guys feel? Let us know. Let us know in the comments, or well, everybody kind of said it in the chat already. But yeah, let us know in the comments. Cell phone in the locker room. How do you feel about that? I mean, it is a new age. This is like a new problem. Is your cousin the Riddler, Quentin? It's his way. It's his way of saying he sucks in defense. Oh boy, here we go. Come on,
you're gonna spark a whole new rant, brother.
Yeah, bro. No phones in the changing room, right?
But
people
what?
Walking around in the underwear, right? Should be illegal.
Really it should be illegal. It just came out like I think today or yesterday in wrestling. Daniel Bryan, for those who know the WWE, he came out and said where he's at now in AEW, he said they talk about things like flaccid penises and like in an asexual way. You know,
Yeah.
they have what he's trying to say is they have good discussion, fun laughing discussion while they're not on their cell phones. And he's insinuating over at the WWE there are too many young kids on their phones,
Right.
you know, not really focused.
Yeah.
So
Focus, man. Focus, man.
That's it.
Fucking
You need
score
that
some goals.
Especially this year, you got to build that camaraderie with the new
Yeah.
players. Instead of being
Agreed.
on your phones, you could talk to Kim, you could talk to Oliveira, you could talk to Kvara. You know, I think that's the announcers for the friendly bout. Yeah, the fewest gamers they bowed to him, man. That was great.
No, what's up? Anyway, moving on, guys. We'll touch on this real quick. It was this one. I know it's not quite Napoli related, but I call this Bitter Body Bites Babbo. Now, we all know that there's like a Luigi De Laurentiis runs, you know, Aurelio's son runs Body. By Aurelio purchased them, I think, what was it, 2019, I believe.
Possibly.
Yeah, from Serie D, brought them through Serie C, and are now going to play Serie B next season.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like by the way, the FIGC extended they changed the rule, right?
Yes.
that law about owning two teams. Now, De Laurentiis was supposed to sell Napoli, or at least he was not allowed to own two teams by 2024 or something like that. They extended it to 2028, and like the shit hit the fan all of a sudden. Now Body people have a problem all of a sudden with De Laurentiis and thinking that, oh well, he might keep Body and now we're gonna stay in Serie B. The point is, it's I don't understand why Body are so bitter against the De Laurentiis. All right, prior to the De Laurentiis family owning Body, all right, this team was basically being used for money laundering. All right, whether they had a corrupt ref who was kicked out of Serie A. Shit, I don't have the names in front of me. Took it off my book. Anyway, you can look it up. It was a corrupt referee running the team, and then it went to a shady Malaysian guy, which that fell through, Dr. Some shit. And then some dude, Giacomo from Create Impresa, tried to run it. Create Impresa, like, which means create investments or create money or create value, whose company and himself were under investigation for money laundering. So your team was in Serie D, owned by a bunch of hustlers who didn't care two shits about your city, about your team. Your mayor picked De Laurentiis to run the team. He took it from Serie D, and now he's in Serie B. He claimed that this was never this was supposed to be two separate entities, and it was. They weren't like a feeder club for us. We didn't take all their best players. No, he put players on the team that would help the team move up, and they did. And I think it was 1 year later than what he promised. He promised 3 years. He did it in 4. But let's not forget, he did all this in the midst of a pandemic. So I don't understand. I get Napoli, Donnie, but I just don't understand Body tifosi right now and why they're so mad at De Laurentiis. You know, the same ultras who go light up 3 buses of Lecce fans who were going to play Rome anyway. I just, like, I don't understand this frustration. So,
I don't either. If anything, and if they're so frustrated about the fact that ADL is going to own them, first of all, let's just say that it's not a guarantee that he's going to own them all this time. I feel like as soon as they get to Serie A, they'll be profitable enough for him to sell. Like, selling a Serie A team is much better than selling off like a Serie B or C team. What if by 2023-24 they don't make it to Serie A? Now he's forced to sell one of the two, and he's going to sell Body, guys. I'm sorry to say, but if that were the case, he'd be selling Body. But it's less profitable to sell a Serie B club than a Serie A club. So another thing is, once they do get to Serie A, he's got to sell. So this doesn't mean that he can keep them while Napoli and Body are in Serie A. It just means that if Body don't make it to Serie A, he's got more time to get them to Serie A.
Right.
So if anything, by the time 29 comes around, and if Body's not in Serie A, then he's going to sell one of the two. He's got to by law. But we all know ADL's history. That team's going to get to Serie A.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be before 29. I have news for everybody. Yeah. So everybody getting all bent out of shape as far as Body fans are concerned, there's nothing to be concerned about. This manager, this president's going to get you to the promised land and then sell you in capable hands, I'm pretty sure. Ralph, the referee was Paparesta, Gianluca Paparesta.
Yes.
That's who it was. Yeah,
I had a bunch of notes in front of me.
Yeah.
And they're not, but yeah.
Can you believe that? Paparesta was a big figure too. He was
a big figure. He was also fucking disgraced, and Serie A kicked him off out of his job because he was part of the whole Calciopoli scandal. And then it goes to some shady Malaysian guy, and then it goes to some shady company, and then they go to Serie D. They were bankrupt the whole time.
Yeah. Yo, Napoli. Napoli fan. Yeah, Dom says Body for Serie A. You know, Napoli fans want Body in Serie A right away so that they see what ADL's next move is. You know that. Yeah. You know that.
Bro, listen
for them. 100%.
Luigi said it himself. We're trying to get to A as fast as we can so we can sell Body. All right. I have a little thing I'm supposed to write soon, Rafa. We didn't talk about it yet. I don't want to surprise you here live on the air. But I was doing a little research for this because I'm going to be dropping something soon. We'll talk about it. So keep your eye on that. I don't want to give too much details, but Body, just shut up. Relax. Touching on this, Napoli. Why not me? So Joe Fischetti covered this on his latest podcast on the Forza Napoli pod, Rafa. So we're not going to get into too much detail, but I did want to put light on the fact that Balotelli after the exhibition game against Napoli went up to Luciano Spalletti and was like, "Hey, you need a striker? You need a striker? I'm right here. I'm your man. I'm your guy." But he also said to reporters that probably one of the reasons why he won't be on Napoli is because ADL would never want to sign him, which is probably true. But I'll be honest, the reason why I even brought this up was because when Joe said that, Joe Fischetti was like, I would love Mario Balotelli on Napoli. I got super excited because I thought I was like one of the only ones. Now, I understand his some of his issues and some of the things he went through with his personality, but if there's anybody who should come on this team, because I feel like Napoli is I'm gonna put this one, bring Balo home. If there's anybody who should come to this team, it's a guy that has something to prove. It's an underdog like himself. And considering what he's went through a lot of hate, racism, whether it be in England, Italy, all these things, he'd be the perfect fit for this team. And if he can keep his head on straight, man, I can imagine what him and Victor can bring as far as goals. But that's really the only thing I wanted to say. That's the only reason. So if you want to add to it, Rafa, now's your chance. But
yeah, I feel like I don't want to dwell on it. No, he's always had an affinity for Napoli. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but one of his kids were born in Napoli. Maybe they live there.
His daughter, right?
He hasn't. Yeah, I think so. And I at this point, I don't know if I would be against bringing Balotelli in. It depends on his attitude, man. Like if we can see that he's definitely a changed attitude. I wouldn't want the Balotelli who tried to do that tilt-a-whirl back heel against the LA Galaxy in a friendly that Mancini had to send them off for. Like that's not the Balotelli I'd want. That's the why always me Balotelli is not the guy I want. Balotelli, a matured, focused, hungry, goal-scoring machine is what I would want. And if that comes with maturity, it comes with age. He's 31 now. The thing is that ADL is not going to spend money on a 31-year-old.
No. He's
just not going to do that. He's going to, if that's the case, we would have brought in Ibra anyway, or we would have brought in, back Cavani, or we would have brought, an older, more wiser, more experienced striker, quote unquote. It's just not in the cards. It's not in the cards.
No,
I don't think it ever will be.
No. I'm just giddy that Joe Fischetti liked them too. So
like Balotelli, man. I really do. I like him, and I think in Naples he could get a fair shake and a restart, and hopefully he would be able to relate to the people, over there. So maybe it would be a gamble, though. It would. Joe Dom is right.
Right. Quinn said it. He thought that Milan would be negative in the locker room, but that was the opposite. It has been true. Yeah, but I think like
Ibra for Milan. Ibra would be a
different
negative
player
in the locker room in Milan. Yeah, but the opposite
different player. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get rid of Petagna and get Balotelli for the same pay, that would be an upgrade. I agree.
For sure. But Raspadori is quite the upgrade there too. So.
Yeah. So yeah, let us know in the comments, guys. What do you think? Balotelli on Napoli. How do you feel? Would he do well? Would his head get to him? Would he be a backup striker? Would he influence the other players? Let us know in the comments, guys, because this is kind of a fun conversation, just for shits and giggles. But speaking of strikers, our next topic: what's the kicker? Osi and Kvara. This kind of comes down to the penalty shot taker. Now, we saw a couple games ago, Kvara was given the nod to take the shot, and the last game, Oshimhen scored our only goal, rather, on a penalty shot. So, is Spalletti, seeing how they both perform? Is he putting trust in both of them? Is this not going to be an exclusive thing like it was with Insigne last season? I'd like to know. But either way, I think, again, good problem. I don't think it's a problem at all. Rafa, I don't know how you feel about this, but do you mind either way as long as they're going in?
I don't mind. I remember a few shows ago, it might have been last show, could have been the one before, where we were talking about who might the penalty kicker be, which wasn't really announced, I guess, at the time. And my vote was for Oshimhen to take it. But I do like the idea that Kvara is going to take it too. And when I say that, I feel like Spalletti is definitely going to share the and you know what? Right on from him. I think the fact that he's going to try to share the opportunities for goals as we get penalty kicks. I still think it'd be a great idea to have the guy who drew the foul get the penalty. Like if he's fouled, you know what I'm saying? Right. Handball, if there's a handball, okay, it's Osimhen or Kvara. But like if you get fouled, take a shot. I think any of those guys can really score on penalties. But yeah, we need to have a set guy. I think they're going to share the load big time, but I think that Osimhen is going to get, I think, a few more of the nods.
A few more.
I mean, Osimhen's goal against Mallorca was great. It hit the top right corner. Kind of roofed it too. Just a fantastic penalty goal.
Right.
And hopefully they both have. We saw Insigne missed a penalty kick against whoever they played in MLS this past weekend in the 0-0. That's a different story, but like we have two guys that I think can be stone cold at the spot,
Yeah.
No games.
I'm good with it. Either way, as long as it gets buried, I don't care. Your fucking grandmother can take it, Yeah, sure. The ball boy can take it. I don't care. So last topic, guys. Because it's starting to turn into kind of like a Malik situation here. I named this one Ruiz really ruins redemption. Say that 3 times fast. Because Fabian Ruiz is still denying a contract renewal. And it seems as if he kind of wants to play this out to he is a free agent. Of course, we know that Carlo Ancelotti, who now coaches Real Madrid, may want to kind of knock on that door and bring him in as a free agent. I think this is his deal. I know ADL is kind of frustrated with him because he doesn't want to sign a new contract. I always thought this guy was going to be the sacrificial lamb for the club. I thought this was the guy that we're going to sell, but I think COVID may have hindered that a little bit because nobody was really splurging a season or two ago, at least not that much. But we're kind of coming down to now we're at the wire here with his contract. It's expiring in a year. He clearly doesn't, I don't think he has much interest to stay here. He probably wants to go to Spain. I'm kind of going back, Rafa, to my Fabian Ruiz hate like I used to. Like, remember how I turned a little bit? I'm kind of going back to that now. I mean, who does this
Well,
guy
not
think he
because of
is?
not because of something that he did on the pitch, though. You know,
I mean, he's good. I like him, but I don't know, man. I just think like I don't find him to be a superstar. That's all I'm trying to say. Like,
I don't know, man. In my opinion, I think without Fabian on the pitch, Napoli are missing something. I that's my opinion. I don't think that he's he's the best player on. I'm not trying to say he's the best player on Napoli. I'm not trying to say we could get 100 mil for him, but he's definitely worth more than I think than when we got him. And I think the problem with him not signing is, like you said, we could turn into another Milik situation, where he doesn't want to sign, and we know we're gonna lose him. So what's the point in playing him? But the thing is that would be a very bad decision by ADL this season, dude. Not only because we need him on the pitch, but because after losing everybody, the potential to sell Zielinski to West Ham. Now, Zielinski said he didn't want to go, so I don't know if they're just trying to get the right deal going, right, between player and club and, the two clubs. But when you're losing everybody like that, and then you have a situation where Fabian is sitting on the bench getting paid, and we're missing his play, that's a bad situation. Now, Milik is different because Milik, we had Oshimhen. We were like, all right, it's all good. We got Oshimhen, Mertens, Petagna. We're good. We don't. Do we really have another Fabian to back him up right now? We don't.
No.
And we'd have to go get one.
That's definitely going to be part of the next rant, Rafa, or our rant today.
The rant today, sure, but the talk was for him to go to Madrid, like Angelo says here. Fabian goes to Madrid. He's getting no time, blah blah blah. But I mean, I think I don't. That's another story, but I doubt that. I think if Fabian does go to Madrid, I think he plays over some of these guys. But the point is that if it's gonna happen, that's got no. That's the thing. No one's really coming after him. I did see something about Madrid. Right. Not sure if that's a true or like a hot story right now, but the interest seems to be with Zielinski, and right now it should be with Fabian. If that would be best case scenario for Napoli. You know what I mean? If you ask me. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, Fabian can shoot outside the box and do really well. So
I like what Gerard says here, Rafa. He's a great role player, not a stud, but not a dud either. I do agree. I do agree. I like to see him shoot. I like to see him cross. I like to see him pass.
Man. I'd put him. I'd lean him more towards stud though.
Stud? No, I don't think he's I don't think he's trash. It's not. I'm not like trashing the guy, but I just don't think he's a star. That's it. I'm just not crazy about him. I like what Joey said here. I'm sorry. At least Fabian helped us throughout his tenure with Napoli compared to Malik. That's true.
Sure.
Well, Malik had no knees either, but yes.
Malik had no knees, but also at the end, he really screwed us too. You know what I mean?
It's true. I think we screwed him. We screwed him, right? I mean,
maybe. I
don't know, man. I'll give my one take about Malik, and then let's get into the rant here because now we're at the halfway mark, Rafa. I think that Malik, after when we had Higuain, the team played to Higuain, right? When Malik came, the team played to Malik. That's why that first month he kept banging headers in and he was scoring goals. As soon as he got injured, and then Mertens kind of came in and took over, right, with the false nine, and then Sadi just set up that trifecta of Lorenzo Insigne, Mertens, and Callejon. I feel like Malik wasn't a part of the squad anymore. So even when he did get healthy, he came back in, then hurt his knee, and then had to be out again, and then came back in. By the time he came back in that second time, I just don't think he was part of the squad anymore. You could tell they weren't passing him the ball as much. He seemed a little bit more frustrated. His job wasn't quite as easier. He wasn't really at that punto ready to knock balls in. They were trying to get him to set a place. I don't think he was very good at that. To me, I think like Malik kind of got phased out, and he must have felt that way.
Yeah,
and as soon as
Napoli's game changed, is what you're trying to say.
Exactly, Napoli's game changed, and it didn't include Malik.
Yeah,
yeah. So that's how I feel about that. All right. So let's move on to the main part of the show, guys. It's today's rant. We dubbed this one "Are Napoli Better Off?" Right, from Mutiny to Makeover. Obviously, it's been a very emotional kind of summer for us, losing pretty much the spines, the leaders of our team, between Dries Mertens, Koulibaly, and Insigne, as well as Ospina, losing one of the top goaltenders in the league. I'm pretty sure he was like number 2 behind Mike Magnan yet last year. But either way, one of the top goaltenders, one of the top defensemen, and we're going in a new direction. We're going we are. This is the turnover. This is the rebuild. Some of us wanted it, some of us didn't want it, but this is what it looks like. And we can go back and forth all day if we should have offered this. Well, we'll get into a little bit of that. But Ralph, I want to talk about today with you and everybody here in the chat. Are we better off? Is this a good direction? Now, the Mercato's not over, and I think. This whole who's going to be top 4 shit, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I think make that determination.
We're jumping the gun. Just let's talk about how cool the kits are, okay? Let's talk about Rome's kits, Juve's kits, and whatever's kits. Let's not talk about top 4 right now.
Here's the deal. Even last year, right? You could have essentially given your top 4 when the season started, but there were only 2 games to go to the season until the Mercato closed. So like basically after match day 3 was when you had everybody on your squad after the transfer window closed. This year, you can't even make a top 4 before game 5 because there's literally 5 matches before you get your full squad after the transfer market. Because the last match before international break is Lazio on the 3rd. So it's the weekend of September 3rd, and the Mercato closes on the 1st. So you're not going to have your players starting to play on your team 2 days after they close for the market. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say is like you can't base a top 4 right now. You just can't do it.
Right.
You can do an as of now one, but it doesn't make any sense to do that because nothing is
finished.
Nothing is finished. Nothing.
It's like a half project for everybody. I just don't get the top 4 conversation. So let's kill the top 4 conversation today. I'm gonna put this up because it's a good question. One Boss fan says, "Who can honestly say Napoli are better than they were last season today?" Nobody. But the point is that it's not over yet. So I guess judging from what we got so far, are we headed? I think ADL has a lot of work to do. I want to say that. ADL is not, he's not in the free and clear yet.
And this is part 1. Like this.
Yeah, this is the part 1.
This is a part 1 of our discussion because we have to have the same discussion for a part 2 when Mercato closes, right? So better than they were today. Of course you can't say that, but headed in the right direction, maybe, right?
Yeah. I want to talk with I want to put out Zach's comment here. People complain about the mentality with the club, but don't want to talk about how that mentality is directly linked to the veterans and the core of the team. We're better to start new and build winners. Fair.
I think
Rafi, your reaction to that? Fair enough, right?
Yeah. Very fair. Very fair. Again, we have this knack, this uncanny knack of an ability to replace well, like when Koulibaly first started with Napoli, nobody was like, that's it, this is the best defender on planet Earth. That took a little time, but the potential with Kim is there. You had the best defender in Belgian football come in and become Koulibaly. Now you have the best defender in Turkish football come in and hopefully become, superstar monster Kim. Kim was named in the All 11 in the Turkish league last season.
Okay.
You got a solid backup for Mario Rui.
Mhm.
Backup for Mario Rui. You guys hear what I just said? We have that.
Backing up Mario Rui. Who would have thought we would have said that?
But I
shit,
mean,
man?
but he could turn
What were the odds?
he could turn into the solid starter. Like, he's definitely the future. He's young enough to be.
I think he's the starter. I'll be honest.
Right?
I think Oliveira, especially Oliveira with that knee and all that. I mean, he scored today supposedly in a little match
Yeah,
or
they had
whatever.
that 8-0 against Castel di Sangro. I saw that.
Yeah.
But you have a solid dude in Ostigard. Solid. Hard-nosed dude. He's gonna fight for every ball. You have what else? Kvaratskhelia, everybody knows the talent that he has. He's gonna dominate. My opinion, he's gonna dominate Serie A. The whole thing that remains to be seen is how well everybody works together. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing that remains to be seen. And we need to finish the Mercato. But are we better off now than we were? Are we better off now than we were last season? I mean, is anybody, when they lose the entire spine of their club, like that's been there for a decade? I don't think right now we are, but the rumors of the transfers coming in are very, very exciting, and they need to happen in order for Napoli to have had a successful offseason.
Fair. Salvatore said when Insigne got tight, the entire team tensed up. Maybe his departure will loosen the team up and we'll stop tripping our sticks too tight in key situations.
Dude, I said it a long time ago. Insigne leaving means there's a captaincy void, and whether it was Koulibaly who stayed to take it, or Mertens who stayed to take it, or now Di Lorenzo who has it. I think a brand new captain can work wonders for this club. I think someone who doesn't have that Napoli pressure of being a Skunitz from the streets, you know what I mean, is a positive change. I do. I think, and the fact that everybody voted Di Lorenzo in, it was a vote amongst the players. I don't know how common that is towards I don't know if that's what every team does. I'm talking like it's a Napoli exclusive. Oh, the players chose him. I don't know if that's customary, but
Di Lorenzo.
Well, yeah, I'm saying I don't know if choosing a new captain is custom between like the teams. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I got you.
Like if
sure,
like
they
if
weigh in on it.
So Totti left, right? Totti left. De Rossi was the next in line captain. But now when you lose Totti, De Rossi, and then this guy, that's what happened to us. We lost Insigne, then our next captain, and then our next captain last week. The three captains, right? So when a predicament like that happens, does every team gather their players and take a vote on who's the captain? Napoli did. And Napoli voted Di Lorenzo. So I think everybody in that team is comfortable with him being at the helm. He's going to produce. It wasn't forced on him because he's the most tenured like Insigne was, or he's from Napoli like Insigne is, or he starts every game like Insigne. You know what I mean? So you have a captain that was chosen, and I think that's going to work a lot of wonders for this club. So Insigne being gone, yes, can change the attitude of the team for sure, 100%.
They sailed away in the SS Finanza. Thank you guys for Pasquale and I spoke about this in the Discord, but if you look at the prior show, look at the name of the ship if you haven't catch that. Look at the name of the ship. Go back. That was thank you. That was my cherry on the cake to that one.
Dude, you are the man. You're the graphics man in Napoli Twitter.
That's what I do. Thank you. Sure. Joy V Dubs, I definitely want to say this because this was my biggest concern, because from what I saw, I know there's silly exhibition games and what have you. They're friendlies, and we shouldn't read too much in it. But I want to read this out. Joy V Dub says, excuse me, that's what concerns me. Will we have cohesion with the new players, with these veterans all leaving at once? This is a real problem, right? I mean, this is a real concern. This is a real concern, especially that the season's going to start with the Mercato still going on. I mean, if we get the goaltender, to me, honestly, so by the way, I put out kind of a poll today. It was a little graphic, and I was asking everybody, what is their top priority? And I asked everybody to pick two. Now, I put Kepa and Navas on there. I also put Simeone and Raspadori. And the general consensus was a goalkeeper and a backup striker. this is my top priority as far as who else will come into the team. I think, and I hate to talk shit against Patania because the man did nothing bad to anybody, but he's just not it to back up Victor. I think that's a crucial position in addition to the goaltending, because unfortunately, I mean, I'm not going to bash Moret. It was my opinion that if he got his confidence back, I think he would perform a little bit better. But the thing is, it's like, can you wait for that? Can we wait for that? How much do we got to wait for? We got to wait for a goalie to get our confidence back. We got to wait for our midfield to tighten up a little bit. We got to wait for our front attackers to start building some chemistry. I mean, we saw some Cavato to Lozano action, 2 goals. We'll see how that goes. I still love the Politano Di Lorenzo link up. I mean, I think that's one of our biggest weapons on this team. I want to continue to see that. Like, I don't need to sell Politano or Lozano, in my opinion. We don't need it. I want the backup striker and the goalie, and I want the rest of the team to kind of like just start gelling. That's what I want. I don't think selling Zielinski is a good idea right now, despite, I mean, at least he owned up to having a bad second half last season. And I think he does well. He gets involved in these exhibition games. I like to see him just be the player we know he can be, because when he's on, this team's winning.
Mm-hmm.
So I say no to selling Zielinski. I say no to selling Politano and Lozano. I just think we need a backup striker and a solid goalkeeper, and like, let's just move forward. And then, maybe a Gaetano in there or somebody like that.
Yeah, I just tweeted out actually that I'm going with Joe Fischetti's choice of blue and yellow, which was Kepa and Simeone.
Yeah.
Before it was Simeone and Raspadori. But when I saw Meret at the match against Mallorca, the blunder that he made, man, like that just, I mean, it did well. The game against Empoli did it for me, but that just solidified it for me. And I get it. It's just a preseason game. I get it. But that kind of slow, like hard header shot that hit the ground right up to hit. Like, it's not like it was a difficult save. He could have caught the ball. Instead, he punches it right in front of him where there's 2 guys in front of him.
Yeah.
And it's mistakes like that that's going to cost Napoli this season. So for me, it was definitely Kepa and Simeone. I'm okay with Zielinski not going anywhere, us not getting Raspadori. The only thing that sucks about us not getting Raspadori at this point, mind you, I didn't think that he was coming in the first place because Sassuolo sucks. I've said that a million times. I hate Sassuolo. I hate them when it comes to them dealing with Napoli. They never want to deal with Napoli. And now, of course, Juventus comes in. So the whole thing about us not getting Raspadori is if we don't get him, he's going to go to Juve, which sucks. So it's like caught between a rock and a hard place. Do we get Kepa? Do we get... The point I'm trying to make is this. Zielinski, I would never sell. I don't know why we're looking at selling him. I don't know why he's the guy. It should be freaking Fabian, right?
Right.
But if we do sell Zielinski, is Raspadori really going to work out for us? You know what I mean? Is he because Zielinski plays a 10 role. He's never really a seconda punta, you know? Raspadori is. Is it beneficial to have a seconda punta to back up Oshimhen behind him? Or, is Raspadori, better suited on the left? In which case we have Kvaratskhelia. What do you do on the right?
Right.
What do you like? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered here. And it's a lot. It's just it's too confusing at times. Like, we don't have an identity of the team. We don't. Not yet. It's got to come quickly. It does.
Right.
I'm gonna say that, and I definitely realize we say it all the time. There's a month left. It's got to come quickly, man, because we've got to figure this out. It's got to be this week.
I like how boss said, this is a perfect season of Moret the net. If he can't play, then we know.
Yeah, but if you give him the net, dude, if you give him the net, it's likely he gets confident and we re-sign him. But if he screws up for us and costs us games like he did against Empoli, and
No good.
let's face it, the preseason win against Mallorca, then we're screwed. I think wasn't it him that gave up a foul in the game against Adana too to give up a penalty late in the game? I think it was Medet who gave up a foul. Like he's he's already in the preseason giving up a foul. Yeah, giving up a foul in the box, and
I don't know. Maybe if
blunder. Like
Joe said, if VAR was present at these games, that would have been overturned. So I don't know. I didn't see a big foul. I'll be honest, but either way. I'm still with the chemistry thing. I mean, again, you really don't want to look too deep into these exhibition games. I get it.
Right.
I don't want to do that either. And they're testing this 4-3-3 now. What's is Luciano, and maybe I'll send this question out. Is Luciano just testing things? Do you think he starts with a 4-2-3-1? And then at times does the 4-3-3, or is he trying to make this 4-3-3 team? I just don't get it. Like, what are we trying to do? Is he trying to establish a new identity? This is all a test?
In my opinion, he's going for the 4-3-3, because if he was going for the 4-2-3-1, he'd have Mertens in this team. You know what I mean? Mertens in a 4-3-3 doesn't work unless he's the false nine. And we have Oshimhen. So if it was a 4-2-3-1, it'd be different because he's a backup to Zielinski or whoever takes that number 10 spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. I think he's going for this 4-3-3, and if that's the case, like I said, we have to figure this team out soon. In my opinion, the ADL should be starting his he should be starting these matches with his starting 11 that he plans on having for Verona on the 15th, at the Bentegodi. I think the next two, I think we have three more. Is it three or two more? I think it's it might be two more friendlies. We played Girona.
Yeah, I think they have four. We did two. I think there were four, so there might be two more.
Right. We played Girona, who New York City FC's Javier Tati Castellanos, joined from NYC on a loan. He went to Girona. We play against him. So that's interesting to me. I'd like to see. I've always said, I said this a few times. I retweeted this. Whenever Castellanos scores a goal for NYC, I say Napoli should sign this fucking guy. Because that guy, I know it's MLS, but he tore up MLS, man.
Right.
Goal scorer of the season last year, and he led the league this year before he signed on to loan for Girona. Girona is a team that's owned by City Football Club too. So mind you, City Football Group, they moved from NYC to Girona. They're linked like Napoli Body is. But I think it's going to be fun to watch against Girona. In my opinion, ADL needs to start two weeks left of the season, two more preseason friendlies to go. Get the starting lineup that you wish to have against Verona on the 15th in now. Like, get them in and see what their chemistry is like. That's got to happen. So what's the 11?
Well, Vincenzo put up his right here. So, I mean, let's piggyback off
right,
that.
But that's with Kepa. Kepa's not signed yet. So I'm talking about the team players that we have right now. So it's Medet and then everybody that's here.
So this is our starting 11 so far. I'm with it. I mean, I don't.
For those listening, it's Kepa, Di Lorenzo, Ramani, Kim, Rui in defense, Fabian Lobotka, Anguissa in the mid, Kvara, Oshimhen, and Lozano as our starting 11. I agree. I might switch out Lozano for Politano. I think Politano's proven himself. I was happy that he made that Lozano made that back post run and scored against Adana, but Chelsea left Kepa off the squad list, and he said goodbyes to his club. So apparently, I mean, I'm sure it's coming, but right this second, it's Medet. Kepa comes in, it's Kepa for sure.
I was about to say, I want to put up a comment that recently Spalletti said, and this kind of alludes to the future of the team, the direction of the team. But he said this, Spalletti, a decision was made to lower the salary ceiling, but when you do that, it's clear that you take away a slice of the market that if others use, they can become ready now to win. I think this statement alone is acknowledging the fact that Napoli are not going to be ready on August 15th. I have this weird feeling. And I think this is him buying an insurance policy with with I guess the fans or whoever's watching them to say, hey, and I think we said it last week, Ralph, I'm not sure, but it's like, hey, if shit doesn't go right, not my fault. We just changed the whole team. I'm trying here. I'm trying here. I'm a little worried about this statement, man. I don't like this statement coming from the coach, even though he's right. So maybe it's just a harsh reality that we need to face. But how do you feel, Ralph? How do you feel? How do you feel about this statement? Does this show a lack of confidence in his ability to get the starting 11 ready to go against Verona on August 15th? And how much work are we going to need, or how much time, rather, are we going to need to get to where we need to be? Because last season, we won the first 10, 11 games, no problem.
Won the first 8, yeah.
First 8?
We were like 12. Yeah, we were 12 wins, 2 draws in the first.
Something like that?
14.
What is it going to be this year? I'm curious, man. This is why we're making a part 2, guys, because we have to return to the subject when we get the rest of our players in, and then we can kind of like determine, and then it might be maybe at the end of the season, like a reboot, to kind of react to where we place. But how do you feel about this?
The big thing for me is that we have so many games before the end of the Mercato. We literally have 4 games before the end of the Mercato. When you think about it, 5 if we make deadline day, decisions. The fact that, listen, I'm not saying, go buy everybody right away now and that's not realistic. But I think he's got a point when he says it takes away a little bit of the Mercato. Like you're attracting a certain type of player when you lower the wage standards. But at the same time, look at the players we're linked with. Delofeo, everyone's excited about. Raspadori, everyone's excited about. Kepa, everyone's excited about. We bring those guys in. We bring 2 of 3 of those guys in. Simeone. See, the thing with Simeone is he goes on streaks, right? I mean, he's going to start every game for Verona, and he was very streaky. He'd score like 5 goals in 2 games, and then he'd go missing for a few. But as a legit backup to Oshimhen, he can come in and light shit up. You know what I mean? But the thing is that, that's the only thing I have against Spalletti's decision to say what he said, is that, yeah, while he's right, the players that we're linked with are no freaking slouches. And we've said, a bunch of us have said, you bring those players in, we're talking top 3 again, possible Scudetto run, possible. It all has to do with chemistry. On paper, we've replaced very well if those moves happen on paper. So, I think you're right, Ralph, where it's just a strategy that he's chosen to like be in favor of. See, well, I told you so. You know what I mean? But remember what he said in the beginning of the season. Napoli will struggle to make top 4.
Right.
You don't want to give too much enthusiasm. Like, I get the whole we should have confidence to win the whole thing, but the thing is when you do that and you don't, you look foolish and you get fired. You can't come out and say, "Oh, we're gonna win the effing Scudetto any year." I don't think you should do that. Anyone should do that, because you're giving the fans a false pretense or false hope.
Right.
With teams like Milan, Inter, and Juve, you always got to include Juve there. If you're not one of those 3, you shouldn't be saying that ever. Not right away.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. I think it's not good to send up false hopes. I don't think it's good either for De Laurentiis to say, "Oh, I didn't say I was going to win the cup." Just give basic.
He did say that this year. He said, "Oh, we're going to push for the Scudetto." That's what he said.
Yeah,
So,
but he's backtracking. He does that. I'm sorry,
he
but
did.
you're
You're right. But he did say that. Let's mark that down. He said that shit.
He said it. He should have said it last September when they actually had a chance to win. Maybe putting that pressure on, putting that pressure on Spalletti to win a Scudetto in his first year back. I get it. Maybe it was too much, and we shouldn't ask a coach in his first year to do that. But
you also shouldn't ask. But you also shouldn't ask the coach to do that when you sell the entire veteran section of the squad, and then half bring in replacements. Like let's face it, he's got work to do. The time is ticking, brother. Preside, I'm hitting my watch. If anybody can hear me, time is ticking. And we have to get this done. It's got to be this week. I need at least 2 of these 3 people that are linked with us to sign this week. It's got to happen.
Seems like the top boys are making big splashes that are all injured now, by the way. And we're playing the kiddie pool. I don't know. Listen, Milan got that guy from Bruges. Another young dude, unproven talent. I mean, Di Maria is old. Pogba's already injured. McKennie got a shot. I mean,
I'm not concerned about the other teams. I'm not concerned about what.
But are they making big splashes? I don't.
Are they? They're bringing back Lukaku. I'm not sure if there's
no disrespect, but I'm just saying
they're bringing back Lukaku with a new manager. Okay. They're bringing back. Milan Milan brought in a few decent players. Fine, but can Pioli do it again? You know what I mean? Juve's guys are all injured to start. I don't think they have a good midfield, and I think they have a halfway decent to lacking defense. Roma are the only team I think that might come out on top of this, especially if they do get Wijnaldum. But even then, I don't think Lazio made a few good moves, but I'm not too worried about them. I don't want to worry about all what the other teams are doing. I want to worry about what Napoli are doing and how they're going to do it. And in the kiddie pool, I don't know. I think that's a little too harsh when you're talking about players like Kepa, Raspadori, Simeone, Deulofeu, guys like that.
Kim, I wouldn't call that guy a kiddie. He's
man.
Huge. He's a monster.
Yeah, we've seen these guys. We've seen them.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about the signings, but rather, again, the chemistry of the team, getting them on the same page, Spalletti working out all the kinks. It's kind of why I don't want to lose players like Politano or Lozano, things like that. Just a few more pieces here and there, and I'll be satisfied, to be quite honest. Maybe like 2-3 more pieces, But let's get a Forza Napoli going in the chat, guys. We're getting about to that hour mark, so I want to put a little music on. I'm getting
a little music going.
A little music going. All right. If it's too loud, let me know. But I think last time I messed up a little bit, but it should be all right. 20 million for a defender is pretty big money. If Roma's front attack can stay healthy, they're top 4 quality. I agree. Listen, Roma was my dark horse last season. I put them above Juve in 4th place. In Marco Messina's face, I said that. So, I listen. I rate Roma. I just think they're overhyping themselves because they got the Bala. But I rate Roma. Happy birthday, Napoli! Happy birthday!
Right. How could we forget? How could we forget that?
But I checked Wikipedia. Wasn't their birthday August 25th or something?
No, first.
Wikipedia said August 25th. The club was founded.
Wikipedia, no gods. All right.
I donate money to them.
Oh, you do?
No.
Makes one of us.
It's like $3 a year, but I do it. That's all they ask for.
I guess. Listen, Auguri Napoli 96, 4 years to the centennial. I can't wait to see what kind of kits we bring out for that.
Saturday, new drip.
Saturday, new drip in the friendly against Girona. And Atuela Maglia says that we're gonna love it. So we'll see. Forza Napoli sempre. Yes, guys. Yes. Girona on Wednesday. I'm assuming it's on Facebook. Hopefully it's not on Facebook with a lot of issues. I don't understand. I bought the Facebook link for the first game against Adana. I had no problems with it. By the way, Ralph, the second one was rough. By the way, let's shout out those that came into studio with us to watch it. That was a lot of fun, man. That was a lot of fun. We got to watch it. You know, us at the Rant, we bought the. Well, I should say Ralph bought it. We didn't buy it.
I'll buy it.
I might owe you $4 for that. But
I should put in.
Why don't I buy it this time? You know, I'll Venmo it to you since you bought the next one, the last one, and maybe we can all get in a chat for the next game too.
All right.
Or the game after, whichever works. But that was a lot of fun, man. Watching the game with everybody and talking throughout it, that was a lot of fun.
Forza Napoli from Dom. Color Forza Napoli. And also to Danilo. Forza Napoli sempre. Siamo qui. Non fa troppo, troppo negativo, Danilo. Essere un poco positivo, Sembra stu ADL. Calma. La Napoli è grande. La Napoli è forte. Guarda qua. Ci siamo qui in America. We're here in America. We're getting better, man. Little by little.
That's right, brother.
Can't wait for the season to start. Forza Napoli, Forza Vincenzo B, and Joe Fischetti's positivity. Yes. FNS, let's go. Forza Napoli from Alfonso. I want to get through this. Studio watches are top. Studio watches.
Oh, the studio watch.
Oh.
When we watched the game on the studio. Just for
yes. Thanks for the show. Thank you, Pasquale, for coming along. Forza Napoli sempre, always. When will we be able to get names of the kids?
Oh, I don't know. You know what? I'll inform you guys.
Yeah.
I've been in contact with the shop because of some kits that never arrived. So I'm back and forth with the official shop on email. So I'll let you guys know what's going on. But Gaetano says there's news on the Tri-State meet coming out by Thursday.
Yes.
That is major news because not sure if I'll be able to make the first one, but I might be able to make the second one if we're doing the second match this season. So.
Florida. Oh, Alex Romo. Welcome back, Romo, man. Thank you. Always a pleasure to see you in here, Romo. Always a pleasure. Anyway, guys, thank you to the chat. Thank you to all our listeners on the podcast. Big shout out to you. It was a great show. Rafa, great show as always.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Always.
Great show for you, too. Great show.
Yeah, man.
I'd like to shout out In the Shadow of Vesuvio. Tomorrow they'll be recording. Wednesday the pod will be out.
Yes.
No Q&A. We were going to do that Q&A.
Yeah.
We're gonna postpone it. We're going to get it going before the season starts. We'll get one in. But, we'll give you more details on that. But, big show, big stuff coming up.
Welcome back, Quentin. It's good to see you. I'll call you later, buddy.
It is good. It is good to see you.
Our pleasure, guys. We move. Andiamo. Avanti così. Forza Napoli sempre, guys. We love you. Thank you for being here. We're out.
Forza Napoli sempre.
Forza Napoli sempre, guys. Ciao.
Ciao.